powerful Mark Ormrod. Welcome to the
Good
Ground Zero
morning, sir.
podcast, my friend.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you getting on? You all right?
Living the dream, mate. Just powering through some emails in my man cave, enjoying the sunshine, getting ready to get out there a little bit later. I've got lots of stuff to do today. So, yeah, excited, happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me on.
Mate, I have to quickly say it, though. You're actually one of the reasons why I started the podcast. So, remember listening to your first episode? Is it #No Limits, your podcast? Your original one?
No Limits, yeah.
Yeah. So I heard it, and it was the bit where you said it's your journey in your journal so that, like, your kids can listen back and things like that. And I was like, that's brilliant. That is fucking brilliant. And I was like, at that point, it was when I was at my sort of lowest with my mental health issues. I was talking to my brother, and I was like, oh, mate, I could start a podcast. And then through your one, I was like, yeah, it's not a bad shout, that. So partly thanks to you. And it was during that time that I was watching your doc as well on Amazon. I think I sent you a few messages saying how inspiring the whole thing was, and it's one of those where obviously with mental health issues, nobody can see the injuries,
right?
And I was like, I'm struggling here, but seeing someone like yourself that's brought himself up from the struggles that you've got, losing the 3 limbs. And even when you had your little your blip that you mentioned on the podcast, it's like, if Mark can do that, why can't I better myself and get myself out of it? You know what I mean? And like, so inspired, mate, by the whole thing. The only thing I haven't yet done is read your book, which I'm going to have to get. Be a full fanboy.
I won't spoil it, but I don't die at the end. I survive. Let me just quickly go back a minute. I want to touch on what you said when you mentioned. You said on one of my podcasts or something, I was talking about this blip that I had, right?
Yeah.
What I try to be very careful of when I do any social media, podcasts, face the cameras, written text, whatever it is I try to be very open and honest, because I think it can come across a lot of the time where, especially on social media, people are only ever showing you the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is fucking bollocks and it's false, right?
Definitely.
And I'm very conscious that sometimes that I could come across like some sort of bulletproof dude that never gets down, nothing affects me or anything like that, right? And that couldn't be further from the truth, right? So I always try, I'm honest, I tell people about the times during my recovery when I broke down and cried. I tell them about my struggles now. And they're not all really so much to do with my injuries, but they're just normal things, what people struggle with. I've got kids to raise, bills to pay, a job to balance. I've got to stay physically fit, mentally fit. I've got goals, aspirations, dreams that I'm trying to pursue, and I get knocked on my ass constantly. I have to pick myself up and stay motivated and keep moving forward like everyone else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I can't stand it when people put on a front where they're like the super achiever and nothing gets in their way and hustle and, you know, and I say all that.
Speaking from the same songbook there, mate, I'm the same, which is one of the reasons why I think I've had quite a few people gravitate to my podcast, is the fact that I don't shy away from me saying, look, when I was at my lowest, I was curled up in the ball, crying my eyes out, and my daughter came and wiped the tears from my eyes and told me it's going to be okay. It's like, I used to be, don't get me wrong, I used to be fucking petrified of telling people about my emotions, my feelings and all that sort of shit, because I'm a man. But now I'm like, nah.
But this is why I think, me personally, this is why I think it's super important that I'm honest. Firstly, because I am a man.
Yep.
And a lot of men think that it's not cool or macho to talk about this kind of stuff or to admit to this kind of stuff. Second of all, I was a Royal Marine, right? And there's a whole other stigma around that with military people. You're not supposed to talk about this and man up and get on with it. You know, and second of all, you know, all the stuff, you know, two-time combat veteran and all the background, you know, on paper, you're supposed to be this alpha male, macho dude that just crunches through everything and cracks on. But the reality is, I'm a human being. We're all human beings, and we all struggle. Mate. I don't care if you're special forces, if you're SO19, if you're UFC heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? Everyone in here, when you're in the hotel room on your own, reflecting, and there's no cameras and smoke and lights and all that kind of stuff, we all kind of go through it together. That's why I think it's important to be really honest.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, mate. Definitely. And I can admit, when I first came out of the military, I was very much in that sort of stigma mentality. Like, one of my mates was on antidepressants, and I was like, what the fuck is he on antidepressants for? Being very blinkered and very narrow-minded with it all. And then when it started happening to myself, I was like, oh, fucking hell. You don't think that everybody's mind is different. One thing can affect one person, and the next thing it won't. You know what I mean? But
this is the thing as well. And a lot of people that I've met over the years, they come up to me, and one of their opening lines is, Mark, my issues aren't as bad as your issues are, but, and I'm like, hang on. Your issues are your issues, and it's individual to you. So me losing 3 limbs could be as catastrophic to you as your goldfish dying. It's all relevant to who you are and how you deal with things and how you look at the world. So it's not that my situation is worse than anyone's. It's all relevant to an individual. So people, I try and tell them in the nicest way, look, don't come up to me and think that your issues aren't as severe as mine. They are, because they're individual to you.
They're your issues. But we can all, anybody and everybody can help someone in some way, just by having a chat. You know what I mean? By having a fucking chat. Which is why I'm actually, like, I think it's been quite a while since I've been like pinging you the odd message, fancy coming on, and wholeheartedly I understand that you're a fucking busy man, like, especially with so what's going on with the potential movie about you? Is it in the works, or aren't you allowed to talk?
There are things I can say, things I can't, but
got you.
What I can say is I've had some very positive meetings with the team during lockdown. I'm learning all this as I go. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes to make a movie, and I'm learning that it comes in chunks and stages. So you've got to raise finance first of all for the script, and then you've got to do something to do with casting and all that kind of stuff. So where we're at now, we are ahead of where we wanted to be in terms of finance raised, people in place, and all that kind of stuff. It's actually been very positive. It's just that because of COVID and travel restrictions and all that kind of stuff, we can't go to where we need to go with the people we need to be with to actually start physically filming. So we're getting and we're in a very positive place. That's good, mate.
Because I was like, sort of speaking to the missus about it. I was like, you look on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, and the amount of American movies there are, it's like people forget that the British forces were there as well. And we've got so many fucking alley bastards that you could make movies about. I believe Woody's making one. Brian Wood is making one about his experiences and things like that. Yourself, it's like there's been so many different things that people could just go, oh, that would make a fucking brilliant movie. I think the last one we've had was Kajaki, I believe, which was I still think was one of the best, like, war movies, if you want to call it, out there. Like how real it was, which I think a lot of Hollywood sort of takes away from, like the realness and getting. And I always find it, I don't know about yourself, when you're watching, say, like a war movie or something, they don't quite capture the banter between the brothers on the front line, and that it seems a bit more forced. It's like, oh, get that spot on, and
a little bit. Like in Jarhead, they got a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, you know, I like Jar. I quite like Jarhead, and a lot of. I spoke to a few Marines out in Bastion when I was there, and they were saying, "Oh, it's a shit movie, man. It doesn't." And it's like, but is it though, or is that actually how you guys are?
So this is my thing, right? This is what I said from the beginning, is that I want it to be very realistic in terms of, you've got the right kit for that era, the guys move in the right way, they firefight in the right way, they've got the right drills and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I learned when I wrote my first book was that you've got to understand that not everyone going to watch it has ever served in the military.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's not important, but you've got to appeal to lots of different audiences. If you just literally went full ham with military banter, terminology, life, the civvies would be like, what is this rubbish? I don't understand what they're talking about. Why are they doing that? That's ridiculous. So you've got to.
Why are they saying fuck after every word?
Yeah, exactly. Why aren't we putting hot teaspoons on everyone's neck and, filming them over the chitter and all the, you know what I mean? It's just, you've got to balance it up.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're right there. Definitely. I never thought of it that way, because obviously I'm still like, that wouldn't happen. That's bollocks.
Right.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, I never thought of it that way. Like, they're not going to understand all the fucking little quirks that we have, saying things like fucking for no reason.
That would be perfect for a documentary. Yeah. If you did a documentary and you were let into the different language, the banter, the behind the scenes stuff, it's different because you're watching that documentary because you want to learn about that stuff. Yeah. But on a movie, I swear you'd sit there like, what's happening? Why? Yeah. Why have they done this? Why have they done that? It would be too hard to watch. So you got to get that balance right.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna have to bring it up because I had a legend of the sport on the other week in Eddie Cohn. How's the jiu-jitsu going? You had much chance getting on the mat recently with all this fucking shitty lockdown?
I have. You won't be able to see this if you're listening, but if you're watching, this is my little area.
Oh, look at
that. My wife's doing a reclamation project at the minute on a wardrobe, but right here in my man cave, it's kind of like my office, my chill out area, and my jiu-jitsu area. So, the lads come round here. We've all been tested multiple times to make sure we're all clear, and then we just get down and dirty there and do our training.
Happy days. Yeah, because we were watching. We actually put it on last night. Your Amazon doc. I was like, he's coming on the show tomorrow, so I was like, the missus, when I'm just going to do a little bit of homework, if you like, just to refresh my memory on things. And she was like, he's doing jiu-jitsu, and I was like, yeah, he's a blue belt. I went, what's embarrassing? The man's got one arm and could probably tie me up like a fucking pretzel. And she was like, really? I went, well, yeah, I'm pretty shit at, like, I've done it a few times. I'm no expert on it at all. I do like it, but trying to get with my work and fucking all that shit, it's like, I want to do something, but then work's getting in the way. But anyway, and I'm like, yeah, he would fucking rip me to pieces doing jiu-jitsu, like.
I love it.
It is brilliant, and I think it's very addictive as well, isn't it? Even if you're getting tapped out week in, week out, you're like, oh, how do I stop that happening? I think it's brilliant. I highly recommend it.
I'm going through this phase of my training right now where I know what to do, and Sam, my professor, is showing me these tiny little tweaks that just make massive. So at the minute, I'm still in that muscle phase where I'm getting a choke on, I'm forcing it, and then my arm's blowing up with lactic acid.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, just spider walk your hand up, get your elbow right underneath his chin, and press down on the chest. And I don't even feel like I'm doing anything. And he's like, tapping out. And I'm like, don't bullshit. I thought he was bullshitting me. I'm like, mate, I didn't do anything. You're bullshitting. He went, no, mate, that was on. And then you see the vein popping at his head, and you're like, oh, maybe it was on then.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
awesome,
quite exciting.
Mate. Yeah. Do your kids do it as well? Have you got them into it yet?
They've messed around with it. I would love to get them into it. First of all, because I think it's so beneficial for them. But secondly, we'll get to spend more time together.
Yeah.
You know?
So
But I don't want
I showed my well, I'm my youngest, but she's really little. So showed my oldest a few things. Her rear naked choke is legit. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I'll be sitting there on the sofa or something. She'll sneak up behind me, lock it in. I'm like, fucking hell, get off! I got a brilliant video on my it was on my birthday. All the missus family came round, and she got her granddad in it, and it was brilliant. So he was winding her up, tickling her, and doing all that. And she went, "I'm going to get you, granddad, when you don't expect it." And then fucking locked it in. He was proper flapping.
Nice.
It was brilliant.
Nice.
But I've been trying to get her into those sorts of things, but she's a girly girl. She's into ballet and gymnastics and things like that. But I'll get her into it at some point.
Yeah.
It's brilliant though, mate. It's brilliant. Did you find it a difficult transition getting on the mat when you first got on there?
No. It felt really natural to me. I don't know if you saw much about my background prior to getting injured, but from the age of about 12, I competed in full contact kickboxing.
Oh yeah.
Thai boxing, and then when I was in the Marines, I tried boxing at heavyweight. So I had that background, and I grew up doing martial arts. And so when I did EJJ for the first time, it just felt normal to be back in that environment, that whole spiritual side of it, the discipline side of it. And I just love learning stuff and progressing and advancing and getting better and making these small incremental gains. You know, I think it's not just me. I think it's human beings as a whole are at their happiest when they're growing, and they're advancing at something.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, worse than just being sat there stagnant in life, not making any forward progression.
Yeah. You got that's the whole thing about like goal setting and stuff like that. If you set yourself goals, even if they're little ones to start with, to the big goal. As soon as you like, even if it's weight loss, for example, throw that one out there. Lots of people like that. You lose a couple of pounds each week, and you're like, fucking hell, that's brilliant. And how good do you feel when you've done it? And then you get to the next bit. And I think a lot of people, and she won't mind me saying, my missus is a pain in the ass for it, where she'll set herself little goals, get to those little goals, and then go, yeah, I've done it now. It's like, no, you haven't. Keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
And this is the thing. It's corny as shit. But the old adage of it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the thing now with jiu-jitsu. It's this is me, you know, to get to a black belt, I'm probably looking at another 10 years. Yeah. Right? And I love that. Yeah, because that's not my ultimate goal. You know, it is my ultimate goal, but it's not going to be the end of it for me. Yeah. I just love, like I said just now, those little distinctions I'm learning and getting better and doing this different, doing that different. You know, that part way across this journey, I may even get the chance to coach other people, other adaptive athletes. So there's that part of it as well.
It's awesome.
You know, I've integrated it into my lifestyle. It's part of my life now.
Yeah, that's what I love about jiu-jitsu as well, is that it's not you can't just go out and buy the belt like you can with other martial arts, for example, or known for that sort of thing. Like you turn up a couple of weeks and you're automatically a yellow belt, for example. Where jiu-jitsu, you will get found out pretty quickly. Didn't it? Like I've mentioned it a few times on the podcast. One of my I do the odd boot camp sort of style fitness with one of my mates.
Right.
And he's I think he's a purple belt. I'm not sure who he's under. But he went, "Oh, Tommo, do you fancy coming for a roll?" I was like, "Yeah, fucking hell, why not?" And he's like, "Do you want to do gi or no gi?" And I went, "Well, I don't own a gi, so we'll just go no gi, put the rash guards on, that sort of thing." I must have at least 35 kilos on him. So I'm thinking I could at least use a bit of my weight. I know a little bit. Fucking hell, he's ridiculous. Like, how strong he felt was just, I was like, I'm drowning here. You've humbled me completely. There's me thinking I'm Mr. Billy Big Bollocks. Got a bit of timber on me. Fucking don't work.
No, they don't. And what surprises me when I row with guys, I look at them and I'm like, right, 5'8", probably 11 and a half, 12 stone. But if they know what they're doing, it's like having an 8 foot, 40 stone bloke on
That's
you.
what it felt like.
Fuck!
Yeah, it felt like I was fucking being manhandled by a gorilla.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrible, mate.
Yeah.
So
but that's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Here's a quick one for you. Have you rolled with Tom Hardy or not? Because I know he trains down at your thingy. What's he like to roll with? Did he originally go down there during the Warrior movie, or was it before that?
I've got no idea, mate. I've only met him a couple of times.
All right,
but he's very good, really good.
Yeah, he was pretty shit hot in that movie, to be fair.
That Warrior movie.
Yeah,
I love that film.
Fucking animal, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing him a few times wearing like veteran apparel stuff, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? So I'd have a little look, and then he's obviously sporting the reorg rash guards and t-shirts and things. I'm like, oh, he fucking loves it, and he loves it, doesn't he? To be fair to him, I think he's brilliant. I love the fact that he's a big supporter for it. Should get him in your movie, mate.
Yeah.
Are you going to star in it at all? Your movie, going back to it, or are you just going to?
I think I'd like to do a cameo in it.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone back and forward with this because I'm like, well, I'm not a trained actor.
Yeah.
But then I think back to your likes of your Arnie and all them back in the day. I'm like, well, they weren't trained actors either. They just got on board with it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm sure if I got the right people to coach me and I just completely immersed myself in it, could do okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd pick it up, like.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to. You know, I'm not a name in that world, so
got you.
That would probably detract from the attention that I want it to get.
You could do something similar to what Mark Luttrell did. Marcus, even not Mark. Because he did a cameo in Lone Survivor, didn't he? He was just sat on the table, which that'd be quite good. Try and spot Mark in there. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. No, I could do that. I mean, we'll figure out once I've got the finalised script in front of me. I can have a look through it and see if there's any opportunity for me to fit in. Yeah.
Have you got any other sort of fitness challenges coming up? Because obviously you did the Invictus Games. Was it twice you did the Invictus Games, or was it once?
I did, yeah, twice.
I thought that was a brilliant thing as well, Invictus Games.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Again, fucking all of you guys that were on it, fucking truly inspirational. It's quite close to my heart as well. One of my close mates, Robbo, was in the wheelchair rugby team. Stuart Robinson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was like following that, and then obviously you would pop up every now and then. It's like, fucking hell, he's swimming as well.
Yeah.
And Mrs. winding me up about that as well. She went, I bet Mark could beat you at swimming. I was like, I don't know about that one. You could probably destroy me at the rowing and the other bits. When I'm a
you know
handy swimmer.
What I did with the swimming, I laugh when I look back on it, but I know that I swim quicker underwater, and I knew I was going to be one of the only ones that had one arm to swim with.
Yeah.
So I spent months trying to increase my lung capacity to see how long I could stay underwater for. I was trying to swim 50 meters underwater.
Yeah.
I think I got about 33 was my best, I think, and I was fucking
that's still going
messed up after that.
Yeah.
But that was my strategy. Just hold your breath, go underwater as fast as you can, and then try and beat everyone. And that's all right on a 50-meter stretch, but when you're doing 100 meters,
oh yeah, of course, you're blown out. As soon as you pop it, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But it's awesome, mate. I really think it is, because it gives the veterans with the injuries, and even if they are mental or it gives you that sense of camaraderie again. And I think that really, like, I noticed on one of them, I think it was the swimming. I think you had finished and there was another guy coming just behind you, and you could see the line of you guys all just cheering him on. Didn't matter what country he was. I thought, that's fucking brilliant. Just shows that, like, you're all in it together. It was just fucking, like, goosebumps, mate. It was brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for injured veterans and even those that have just left for whatever reason. You lose that sense of brotherhood, as it were. That's a big thing that we talk about on the podcast quite regularly, is not having that, and especially now in this fucking lockdown phase. Yeah, you can get your old Zoom call in or whatever, but going down the pub or whatever, having a chat with your mates is something that I've said it countless times. I'm lucky. I've got 3 lads that I used to serve with literally live down the road from me, so it's that's fucking handy for me. But there are others out there that don't have that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I agree, mate. I live in Plymouth, so I'm surrounded by
you're
Navy, Army,
all of them, mate.
constantly. So I know I mean, right now I live on a military married patch. We bought our house. We got put in a house back in 2008. We bought it luckily in 2009. So although we own this property, all the people, my next door neighbours are French naval officers. We've got Dutch naval officers. We have German, they do exchange drafts. Surrounded by it constantly.
That's good though. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like to be fair, my missus never really got on well with the married patch. If I'm honest, I don't think she gave it enough time. But yeah, she didn't really. She was very family orientated, and we moved away from her family. I was used to it. You know what I mean? I left at 20, so I was used to it. I could go wherever the fuck I wanted. Yeah. She was. Even when I went on tour, she would go back. She wouldn't stay in the married quarter. She would go back home.
Yeah.
Which, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's important to have that support sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's one thing that, well, especially the RAF regiment, I don't think they did all that well, was to check in on wives, girlfriends, partners when we were away. Like my missus was like, I never got a phone call just to say that the lads were all right. There's nothing going on, that sort of thing.
Do they do that now or not?
I have no idea. I'm guessing so. I'm guessing there's a bit more of a community spirit, but yeah, it's gone downhill a little bit. Well, yeah, don't really fucking know, mate, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but nice to think that they did do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it might have just been my squadron, for example, might have just been shit at admin.
Right.
So I don't want to throw like fucking the whole regiment under the bus, but just my squadron, I'll just do that. Do better. But yeah, it's all fucking good. So what have you got on for the rest of your day? You said you got a fucking busy old day.
It's non-stop, mate. Like, even if I haven't got much in the diary, I'm constantly, I'm doing things like this, podcasting. I'm re-editing my first book at the minute. So when I get a spare hour, I'll bang out a chapter of that. I'm just finishing my second book now. So lots of meetings, lots of Zoom calls. God, what else is going on? Hitting the gym, staying fit, the school runs. Just keep on top of my diary is a full-time thing. Like this morning before I came here, I spent 40 minutes literally just juggling the next 3 weeks around to try and fit everyone in geographically, so I'm not going from here to Scotland to Newton Abbot, so I do it in a logical way. And then I've got my own podcast. So yesterday I did. I've got my podcast and my work one, the Charlie 1 podcast.
Yeah, I did. I did see that one. Yeah.
Then I've got to do the intros, outros. I've got a good friend of mine does the editing, but then booking them in, traveling to it's just like all the time.
Fucking never ending, mate. It's never ending.
But it's good though. I like being busy.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than not having anything to do, because I don't know about yourself, but my mind just goes fucking wandering. It's like, oh, what can I do? It's like,
and all my mates are at work.
I struggle to just sit and chill out. I've got to have some sort of structure, something to do.
I was actually thinking about this last night, right? And I was lying down on the living room floor, and the kids were in bed, and I was thinking to myself, "Holy shit! Like I'm super busy, and not just busy for the sake of being busy, but productive busy."
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've seen just about everything on Netflix. How have I managed to do that? So it's like I work like crazy all the time, and I'm still doing the school runs and training.
Yeah.
And I put Netflix on. I'm like, seen it.
I literally, before we started recording this, I was cooking my breakfast, and I was like, what can I put on Netflix just to like pass a bit of time? I was like, don't want to watch that. Seen that. I was like, oh, fucking hell. I put extras on. So I just put fucking, it's like, that's my go-to. Extras or Office. It's like, they will do because they're like 20 minutes long. I still laugh at them. But yeah, it's like...
You need to get on Amazon Prime and start watching The Boys.
Oh yeah, I'm on episode 3, 4 of the second season now. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, mate. It's good. Trying to get my kids into certain things because they've always done stuff with me missus, obviously girls being girls. Wow, I need to get a niche that I can watch with them so it can be like a daddy-daughter time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate.
We've discovered the youngest really likes Marvel, so I'm like happy days.
Oh,
I can sit and watch fucking them all day, not a problem.
Yeah.
And then I just found, well, she's been banging on about it, so I haven't just found out. But my eldest, I believe it's because of my niece. She's really into Stranger Things, so she's like, "Can we watch Stranger Things?" I was like, "Yes, we can." I was like, "I've already seen it, but yes, we can. I'll watch that again." No, I was trying to tell her. Yeah, it's funny. We watched the first episode, and she's like, "Daddy, these boys are cycling home, and it's really dark and late." I went, "That was the 80s for you." I was like, 80s,
yeah, exactly.
I was like, 80s, 90s. We just go wherever. I was like, I'd be coming home at 11 o'clock on my bike.
Yeah.
She's like, really? I was like, yeah, you're not. Too many creeps about.
There's more weirdos around nowadays. You're in the early.
Yeah.
I tried doing the same thing, mate, with my kids, but they watch YouTubers, and I want to blow my brains out when I'm sat there with them. I'm like,
same.
It's irritating because these people are so successful, and I've watched some of their videos, and they're clearly making a lot of money from it. But I'm like, the content is boring. There's no talent involved, but kids love it. That's why they get all the views.
Yeah, exactly. And they're getting paid because of the views. It's mad.
But mate, you'll get this. As a fully grown man, an ex-military, I'm watching blokes our age playing hide and seek in their house with their wife, and I'm like, you're a man. You're a fully grown man, and you're running around playing hide and seek and shooting Nerf guns and recording it on video to put onto YouTube. And I'm like, I don't think I could ever see myself doing it.
No.
I just like, no, I'm a bloke. I'm not doing that. Ever.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I'll be like, I'll be upstairs. I'll be pottering about. I'll come downstairs. There'll be one of like my eldest got a phone, so she'll be watching YouTube on her phone. Youngest has picked up the laptop, watching this, like pretty much the same thing. And I'm like, "What are you watching?" And she's like, "Oh, we're watching whatever it's fucking called." I'm like, "Let me get this right. You're watching 2 18-year-old boys that are a bit strange in my head, playing a kid's game online." But recording it and uploading it, and you're watching it. She's like, yeah. I went, why don't you just play the game?
Yeah, I don't get how it's entertaining. I'm like, what? That's not entertaining to me.
No.
But they've cracked it because they know kids will watch it over and over. They'll tell their mates about it, and they'll like, blah, blah, and you know, honestly, it bugs the crap out of me. But when I watch a bloke running through his mansion and he goes to hide in his garage and he runs past his 6 Lamborghinis, I'm like, he's got something here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got something.
He's making some money somewhere.
Definitely. Oh, it's like, what was the one they used to watch when they were a bit smaller? They would watch this. She must have been Polish or Latvian or something like that. But she would sit and open toys, and then describe the toy. It's like, no, just.
I know.
It's like, you're a grown-up. Stop playing with toys.
I know. Now, I mean, there are one or two, actually, to be fair, that I've sat down with my son more and watched, and these guys have got this platform. They're clearly making a lot of good money, and they're doing some good stuff with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they'll go out and they'll do they do a lot of these challenges, and they'll go into a shop and they'll say, look, here's my credit card type thing. Go sort yourself out. And I think one of them, he said, oh, there's a limit on it. If you go over the limit, you can't have anything. If you stay under it, you can have everything you buy. But there was no limit. And he was just going out helping people that needed a bit of help. And so I thought that was
that's pretty cool.
And it wasn't an arrogant way. It wasn't like, look, I'm super rich. Here's my platinum card, peasant.
Yeah.
It was done in a nice way, you know? So I thought that was kind of cool. But the
I've
majority of them...
Yeah, I've always said to, like, my eldest, because obviously, like I said earlier, she's really into gymnastics. I'm like, why don't you find something, if you're watching YouTube, find something that you can learn from. Yeah. Where they can teach you how to do certain moves doing gymnastics and things like that. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, I could. It's like, no, you should. Instead of watching a dickhead open a toy. It's like, it's like, fuck off. Why are you watching that?
Listen to us bitter grown men.
I know.
I hate these kids.
These fucking young'uns. The fucking youth of today.
Yeah.
I even think I pulled out
all up on the line on the YouTube.
On the YouTube. On the YouTube. I'm pretty sure I actually said in my day the other day to my eldest. When we were watching Stranger Things, I was like, yeah, in my day, you could go out in the fields and build a fort. In my day, like the 90s was in this all singing and all dancing time.
yeah, got you.
Fucking brilliant, mate. Oh, but yeah, YouTube can. Even my youngest was like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a YouTuber. No, you don't. Well, you do if you want all that money, but can you not
do something?
Yeah, constructive. Yeah, they think it's brilliant that their podcast is on YouTube. They're like, "Dad, is the podcast on YouTube?" It's like, "Yeah." How many subscribers you got? I went, I don't know, 42.
Yeah.
They're like, can we watch it? No. Why not? Because I swear a lot.
Yeah. No, you're not watching it.
But when you're older, that's the reason why I'm doing all these. So you got something. If something happens to me, you can watch it all.
There you go.
And Dad will always be there. That's the idea. Like, stole that from you. The journey, the journal.
The journal.
Yeah, mate. It's a brilliant idea. I was always toying with the idea of a podcast. Yeah. And when I first heard your one, I was like, that's an idea. I like that idea.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and and like when I first started, it was literally just me talking to myself for 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And now I'm getting guests like yourself on. I've had some pretty good UFC fighters on, which has always been good.
Yeah.
It's growing. Getting there slowly.
And the good thing as well about it is, if you were doing something similar to this, like they did back in the day, like a BBC radio presenter or something, you can't say shit and fuck, and you can't talk about what you want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun.
My brother's always the same. My brother, whenever he's on, he always lines up little nuggets that he knows that I'll go off on a rant about, like. And then he's like, I'm going to get you banned from YouTube for saying that. I'm like, well, no, ban me. It's like, it's my content. They don't own my content.
No.
Yet.
And there's other platforms.
Yeah. It goes out on all the platforms anyway. So it's like, they can't get all of them.
Nope.
They can try. Oh, well, fuck it. Mark, this has fucking been brilliant, mate. Honestly, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't want you to the world's busiest man.
That's all right, mate. That's all right.
Yeah.
Just to chew the fat.
That's why I love the podcast sort of format. You know what I mean? It is literally a conversation. We don't have a set script, especially on Granite Zero. All these certain podcasts have like, I've got an agenda to get across. Nah. It's fucking
sometimes to pull up a sandbag and chat.
Yeah, mate, and just slag off YouTubers.
Yeah, well, they laugh at us from their mansions.
Yeah, like 12 years old and got all the money.
I know, mate.
And there's me still working a fucking 12-hour shift doing security work.
We're old men. We've got the wrong mentality.
So old, mate.
I know. So what have you got on for the rest of the day?
Oh, mate, I got nothing on. Literally, this is the highlight of my day.
Okay.
Fucking housework and that. I'll probably go to the gym a bit later. I believe I've got another podcast tomorrow, but that won't be until the evening because I've got regular human job to do.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, I've got the fucking school run and ballet to do tonight, which is a pain in the ass because they're all fucking different times. So annoying.
Do they look at you funny when you turn up to the school with a tutu on?
They do, mate. They're like, why are you wearing that? I'm like, why not?
I've got ballet. Of course I'm going to wear a tutu.
I got fucking ballet tonight. I've got my tights on.
There you go.
So what happens when I wear my... If I got my fucking skinny jeans on, mate, they're like, you're definitely ready for ballet.
You don't wear skinny jeans,
no, I don't, mate. I can't. Not with these quads, mate. Not with these quads.
No, they shouldn't. They should be illegal.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anyway. I remember I went to try on a pair once just because I live in Kent, so everybody wears them anyway. So I went to try them on, couldn't get them over my calf. I was like, I can't wear this.
No.
Well, you can't wear skinny jeans.
I think my
anyway.
balls would overheat. I think I just like you need room to swing and move, and I just don't think I could wear something that restrictive.
No.
No,
Definitely not. Definitely not.
No.
I don't even like wearing like the slim fit shirts. Don't even like wearing them. Not because I'm rotund, but I feel like I'll hulk out of it if I wear it.
I know.
Too big, mate.
We're definitely old men now, aren't we?
Well, so old right now. Oh, those youngsters in their fucking skinny jeans.
I'll be wearing a cardigan in a week or two.
Cardigan
when the weather gets down here.
Cardigan, flat cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Living the dream.
You'll be getting some tinges of grey in that epic beard of yours. That's coming on, mate. I've got beard envy because I can't grow one.
I love it. I love a bit of beard.
But yeah, you're probably gutted now. You like back in the day when you were serving, had to be clean shaven and that, didn't you?
Oh man, I hated it.
Now they're like, just fucking grow a beard. It's fine.
I hated that. And I mean, God knows what they are now, but the old Mac free razor blades were like 18 quid a packet. And I'd go for a blade a week. It was expensive. I think it cost more for me to shave than it did for me to put water in my house. My water bill was less than my razor blade bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good money saver, that.
Yeah. What isn't a good money saver is obviously everybody. I saw a meme on this, so I'm stealing it. I think it was on Fill Your Boots. Everybody going around with the Mark 1 respirator, saving the world. Yeah. All you needed was a bit of cloth around your face. Military fucking.
That's it.
Spending all that money.
Wasted loads of money on respirators.
Well, it's funny now though. I think it is actually pretty funny now that they were saying how the respirator doesn't work if you've got a beard. That's why you can't grow a beard. But now they're like, fuck it, just grow a beard. So, all right. So I think just quickly, if we're gonna get an NBC attack, just have a quick shave before you put your respirator on. People with these big.
Is that what they're saying? Is it?
I have no idea. That's just me speculating. But it's like,
yeah, I read something about it, and I think it's sort of like environment specific. So if you are going to go into an environment where it is a threat, and you know you're going in there, then obviously have a shave.
Have a quick shave.
Which I think I would do anyway. I wouldn't take the risk.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I'd be all right. I can form a seal.
Bit beery.
Yeah. No, I think I definitely want to be clean shaven for that. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the time, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the Navy don't shave.
No, they don't, do they?
No.
No, they always had that rule, didn't they? It had to be neat and tidy, though, didn't it?
It had, I mean, it has to be presentable, but that's kind of. When I deployed to Iraq, I was attached to a regimental aid post. I'm working with a lot of naval medics, and the NBC threat there was obviously very high.
Yeah.
And while me and the two other bootnecks that worked with them shaved every day, they didn't. And I was just like, well, I know you don't have to. However,
it
makes a lot of sense if you did, because there are missiles going over our head daily that could potentially be filled with chemicals, and you might want to get your respirator on and form a good seal on it.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd be dead.
Yes.
Yeah. There's quite a few lads out in Iraq and Afghan when I went that got the old the med chit to say that because they're in an open top vehicle, all the dust going in their face, shaving every day, it would like cause fucking, I don't know, spots. So they got the old fucking shaving shit. I was a comms nerd, so I was in the fucking Panther anyway. So I was like, oh, I want a shaving shit.
I think I'd rather have a few spots on my face than have my lungs boil from inside my body because my respirator didn't seal properly.
Yeah.
But each to his own.
Yeah, exactly. Looks cool though having a beard. So
yeah,
alliness saves lives, as they say.
Just maybe not in that situation.
Yeah, maybe not. Definitely not. Too alley for this. You? Oh, fucking hell. Brilliant, mate. It's spitting dits, as they say. Yeah. Oh, tell you what, your man cave is better than mine. I need a bigger space. This is my man cave, also known as the Shedio. This is my shed, basically.
Yeah, I'll make it out.
Yeah, so I've basically all the shed stuff I've hidden. So like the lawnmower and things like that, it's all hidden over that side. And then this side, it makes it look like I'm in an actual studio. Or a fob.
Yeah, fob.
Yeah. But it's coming along, mate. It's coming along. It took me ages. Like for ages, I didn't have a mic or anything like that. Didn't even have a laptop. It was literally done on my phone. For ages.
I'm the same. I don't have any Gucci kit either. I need to get some sort of soundproofing.
Yeah.
I saw this thing. It's like a hollow square, and you put a mic in it, and it's got soundproof around it, so you can take it portable.
Oh.
So, like, because like where I am now, this extension on the house is a single skin building. I've got the garage door open, so I know nothing about acoustics, but I imagine they're not the greatest in the world right now.
No, you're not coming through too bad, to be fair.
This table here, look, that I'm on, is what I want to get all my mics and everything.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
And then get that little acoustic set up. So this is where I would do my podcasting from. Bring the guests in.
So what I'm
doing it on Zoom.
I need to do something with this because it's a bit of a, like, obviously I got the mic and the fucking soundy thingy on it, which has helped like no end with the sound. But because I'm in a shed, if it's fucking raining, that's all you can hear.
Right.
The fucking rain on the roof, and it's like, it's annoying. What's the other fucking annoying? So behind the shed is a load of fucking fields. So when the farmers are coming through with their fucking combine harvesters and what have you, and every now and then they get the fucking dickheads doing the, I'm guessing it's clapping or something, but it sounds like gunfire, which is brilliant. Okay. So that comes through sometimes, and you're like, oh, fucking shut up, will ya?
I mean, I did it yesterday. I was recording one for work, and our offices, it's the oldest building on camp. It's an old wooden Nissan hut.
Yeah.
So single glazing, single skin, rickety old building. And I was doing a podcast for work with one of the girls that works in the employment and education team, and the street sweeper came past, and then the bloke gets out and then gets a leaf blower out, and he starts blowing leaves everywhere. Then he gets back in the street sweeper to run over the leaves, suck them up into the street sweeper. And I'm just like, right, we're gonna have to stop for a minute, because that's all I can hear is this thing going outside the window for like 15 minutes. So, but we'll figure it out as we go. Test and adjust, make it better.
Exactly. Test and adjust.
Yeah,
best way to do it, mate. Like, it's so funny when I first did it. It's not like I said, I did it on my phone, and me being a fucking idiot, sometimes I wouldn't put it on to, because you could record and have it on the airplane mode. So obviously I wouldn't get any calls or anything.
Yes.
Fucking bellend. Some amount of times I left that on call and I'd be like 45 minutes in, loads of decent content from me talking, and then the missus would ring and it's like, you fucking, and then you go back on it and it's like, it's gone. Where's it gone? Why didn't it pause? It should have paused. Where's it gone?
I know, mate.
And it's like, right, now I'm going to have to try and remember 45 minutes of dialogue that I just said. Did be best.
Yeah.
Got a decent enough memory.
It's all SOP now.
Yeah, mate. It's all, that's it. Every day's a school day, innit? You know what I mean? Every day's a fucking school day. You gotta fucking learn them. But
yeah, exactly.
Exactly, mate. Fucking brilliant. Tell you what, it's part of your little Charlie one thingy. What's it? I'm starting a charity football match, which is supposed to happen fucking this July even. But that's now been moved over. I'm doing it for Rock to Recovery and Mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I spoke to, I think his name's Charlie. Sorry if I got his name wrong. One of the guys over at Rock to Recovery, and he was like, "So what is it you're doing?" I was like, "Oh, it's a charity football match. I'm playing against Spurs legends. We've got a couple of celebs playing for the Granite Zero team. Well, I say celebs. We're playing against Spurs legends. I'd like to do it for a decent cause, and one of them being Mind, obviously with the mental health problems. And I was like, I wanted to do it for a company that basically really helps veterans, like properly. And the reason why I say that, I'll get to in a sec. So he was like, yeah, nobody's ever done a football match. It's usually like things like yomping up a fucking mountain or something, or sailing or whatever, canoeing. Like, well, yeah. I went, and it'll be good because you can get the banners out around the stadium. You can get good. And I was like, I'll be talking about you guys a lot on the podcast and what have you. And he was like, why did you choose like us? And I was like, well, I heard a lot about you through like social media and things like that. And I went, and if I'm honest, I went to things like the RAF Benevolent Fund previously to help with the podcast and help with myself. And they basically turned me down. So I was like, well, I'm not going to help them if they're not going to help me, as bad as that sounds. And I was like, but I know for a fact that you guys have stuck your neck out for a number of fucking vets, no matter what the cat badge. So he's like, I think you guys are brilliant and I'd love to help you out. He was like, oh, fucking sound. We'll get you. And it's loads of little things that I thought were brilliant. Like, so we've obviously got 22 players that we've got. So because we're all going to be pretty old and knackered, say that like 33 is old, but we're going to be old and knackered. So I've got basically two teams, and I told Mind originally that we've got 22 players. Can I get like a good number of shirts for like the warm up and things like that, so the lads will wear them? Yeah, we can send you one out. I was like, well, all right, that's not going to help.
Yeah, right.
And I spoke to Charlie at fucking Rock to Recover, and he was like, how many do you need? And I was like, well, I need 22. He's like, yeah, I'll get that done. We'll get that done. We'll get you a banner sent out and all this. I was like, oh, fucking brilliant. And he went, have you got any mascots? And I was like, well, yeah, my daughters are going to walk out with me. He went, oh, we'll get you some kids' ones as well. I was like, you're fucking brilliant. Love it. But
so I'll tell you a story.
Go for it. I love a story.
So the bloke you're talking about is Charlie Hobson.
That's the one.
So Charlie Hobson is a retired Royal Marines brigadier. Now, I was discharged from the Marines on the 1st of July 2010.
Yeah.
And I had planned that September that year, I was going out to America with a bunch of lads, and we were running from New York to LA, fundraising, 3,500 miles. Charlie, at the time, was the chief executive of the Royal Marines Association. He was the boss. Recently retired WO2 Richie Puttock was the operations manager. There were 3 girls that worked in the office doing the admin at Whale Island in Portsmouth. And he rang me up, never met him before, didn't know who he was. And he said, my name's Brigadier Charlie Hobson, retired. would you like a job? And I'm like, that would be brilliant. And I'll tell you what happened with my job search in a minute. I said, what do you want me to do? He's like, don't know yet. We'll make something up. I was like, that's brilliant. And then I said, listen, so I'm about to go on this big run. I'm going to be out the country for like 3.5 months. And I was like, is fundraising going to be part of this role? And he went, it can be, yeah. And I went, okay, let me speak to the team. And so we added them as the 4th benefactor for the event. And that then became my job, like fundraising, raising awareness for this association. Now Charlie's obviously cross-decked and he's changed to Rock to Recovery. But back then, this is 10 years ago, it was just me, Charlie, Richie, and 3 girls in the office. And now there's like 46 of us. It's phenomenal how it's now evolved into the Royal Marines charity, RMA, the Royal Marines charity. And I'm still working there, and it's just so crazy to see the growth of it. It's and awesome, not just in terms of, you know, people that work there, but like I said yesterday, I'm interviewing one of the girls. We've got an education and employment cell with 3 girls in. We've got a fundraising cell. We've got an operations cell. We've got nearly 100 branches of the Royal Marines Association that have veterans and their families in. It's just so like I can't help but feel massively proud every day that I work from it, and just to see from inside it growing and growing and growing.
That's awesome, mate.
And even Rock to Recovery, a part of that that family and that, you know, organization. And I've been a beneficiary of both the charity and Rock to Recovery. I go and see Jamie and the guys when I'm struggling a bit and get some of their specialist help to keep me on track, you know. And it's just awesome to really see the guys doing the work in the trenches and helping guys out is crazy. You know, I love it. I love it just to see that, because I'll be honest, you know, as a veteran, and especially one in the charity world, I'm privy to a lot of the negativity that I see on social media, people moaning and complaining, and I sit back and I observe a lot of it, and I can honestly say, hand on heart, that the criticism in what I do now, the organization that I work for, is bare minimum. Yeah. And the stuff that I do see isn't even always justified. It's just someone angry ranting and you know, because I sit in there, I'm in the trenches with them, and I see how many people they help, and I see how hard the staff work daily. You know, like in the little team I work in, marketing and comms, me and those guys, you know, we're texting this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, we'll be texting and working at 9 o'clock at night on our phones, because everyone's just like on the same mission and passionate as hell about getting it done. You know, it's
that was like, obviously I had a little dig at the benevolent fund there, but that's because that was my own, that was me, like, oh, I'm trying to do something good, nobody seems to want to help, and I was like angry at that point. I was like, oh, fuck it. However, I also know they've done a lot of fucking good shit. Like, for example, they helped my uncle out. My uncle had bowel cancer and really bad MS. When he was going through his treatment, they were helping him out and things like that. So I know that they do brilliant work. So I'm not fucking slagging them off too much, but it was like that point for me. I was like, oh, you said that you were going to send someone out to come and talk to me and we can get it. Like, I wasn't even asking for much. I was like, maybe you could help me get a mic, for example.
Right.
But I was like, oh, like, you know, when you get that frustrated and you're like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
But yeah, like I've done a few things for the benevolent fund before, help for heroes, that sort of thing. But yeah, Rock to Recovery, they were on my list that I wanted to help them out, get some eyes on them as well. You know what I mean? I think, like you said, lately a lot of charities have been getting a lot of shit. It's like, hang on a minute.
And it's difficult now as well,
because
I'm about to jump back on.
Yeah, sorry, carry on. I'm about
to jump back on the fundraising bandwagon myself, because, you know, being an insider, I see the massive effect this year's had on.
Oh yeah, of course.
All of our events have been cancelled. You know, in November we normally have a massive gala dinner in London, which creeps close to 7 figures, and it's just been wiped out completely.
Shit, yeah.
So you said right at the beginning, you know, have I got anything physical going on, any physical challenges or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
And I put out a shout on my Facebook yesterday asking people for ideas.
Yeah.
Because I really want to, I feel deeply passionate now about filling that void and getting that pot filled back up next year when we can hopefully get back amongst it. First of all, because I and my family have been beneficiaries, but second of all, you know, I deal daily with people that need all sorts of stuff, from a wet room in their house, you know, because they're disabled, to, like you said, even a microphone because they want to start a podcast. You know, I'm in there daily and I see it and I see the need for it. And it's hard to watch the funds not dry up, but take the hit.
Yeah.
And next year, I'm going to get right back amongst it. Hand biking, jiu-jitsu, speaking events, online auctions. I've got loads of kit here that I'm probably just going to do something with and auction it off to the highest bidder. Yeah, just try and
I love all that. And I was saying to the missus, this is what I was going to say. I was saying to the missus yesterday, like, I was talking to, I can't remember his name now. He was an officer in the Marines. I can't remember his name. It will come to me at some point. I was doing a course recently called Inner Armor, which is to do with positive psychology. And it's all life changing. They're trying to bring it into the military so that they can give troopers the fucking tools to deal with any sort of mental health injuries before they even take hold. So you already know how to deal with it. But anyway, and I was saying about Help for Heroes and things like that, and how good they've been and things like that, and companies like, say, Combat Fuel that give some of their proceeds and profits to them. And I was like, but at the minute, it doesn't seem enough. Like, you don't see people walking around with a fucking Help for Heroes band on anymore, and things like that. And I was saying to the missus that it's quite possibly due to the fact that we are pretty much closed down from Iraq, Afghanistan, even Syria and things like that. So you're not seeing the military on the telly as much. So people aren't going, oh, those fucking boys, blah, blah, blah. But it's like they've sort of semi-forgotten. I'm guessing, I know they haven't. But it's like you go into a shop, you don't tend to see the Help for Heroes box anymore that you can, I'm just using Help for Heroes for example. Like, people would put £1 in and get a fucking band. You know what I mean? It's like, it seems to just reverted all the way back now to the poppy appeal. That will probably be the only one we tend to see on it. And in November, it's like, you know.
I think that was always going to be the case, you know, because, you know, I'm big enough and ugly enough to know that it's just life, that, you know, we were flavor of the month for a good 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, like right now the NHS is at the forefront. You know what I mean? And then next week it'll be something else. And then next week it'll be something after that. And I kind of always knew that this was going to be the case. But that's why stuff like what you're doing here and all the other veterans are doing is so important. Because we keep it out there in the public eye, in their consciousness, in that domain. And, you know, being a veteran now in the UK, it's gone along the same route as in America. Like,
I agree.
It's a massive thing in America. Like, I've been to America and people introduce me as Staff Sergeant so-and-so retired. And I'm like, you still carry your rank as a civvy? They're like, yeah. No, we're veterans. We're really well respected over here. And I'm like, well, I see it going down that route with us in the UK now. You know, we get a lot more recognition as a veteran. And we have these platforms now where we can get out there and do this kind of stuff and keep it in the public eye, you know?
Yeah, definitely, mate. And going back to your little thing there about Staff Sergeant retired. So that actually reminds me of a bluey I got from my dad. My dad very rarely wrote to me when I was away. And he did it this one time where he put literally Edwin James Thompson, Flight Sergeant retired. And then he had his fucking service number on it. I was like, you nerd. Fuck off, Dad. What are you doing?
But it's good though, because I feel my experience is that 10, 15 years ago, maybe longer, maybe not so long, but being a veteran wasn't cool. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, you're the old guys that wear the blazers and the medals and the beret. But now
Yeah.
being a veteran's cool as fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
You've got
Totally.
so many
It's like
fucking cool people out there.
I say
Flying a
it. I
veteran.
say it all the time. I'm a veteran. I did this, this, and this. And they're like, you did what? It's like, you fucking right, I did.
Yeah.
But I say it to the kids all the time just to wind them up. I was like, you do
Yeah,
know,
but it's cool now.
I wind them up. So they're like, Daddy, they'll say something like, Daddy, how strong are you? And go, I'm that strong. And they're like, how strong? It's like, I'll put it this way, coronavirus has to wear a mask for me. And she's like, oh, shut up, Dad.
I'm so nails that when I walk outside and look at the grass, it cuts itself. You know what I mean? We're going down the Chuck Norris road now.
Yeah, the one I used to really wind them up with. Again, they'll be like, Daddy, how strong are you? It's like, you do know I had a fight with a bear once. Like, really? Yeah, knocked it clean out. One punch. Right on its stupid nose. Like, did you? Yeah, and now they're like, shut up, Dad, you're lying. It's like, I'm not. I had a fight with a bear.
It was Yogi Bear.
Yeah, Yogi Bear. Oh, you probably can hear that now flying over. Fucking
no,
plane.
I'm good. I can't hear it.
You can't. Oh, that's all right then. Perhaps I don't need to soundproof. There's a fucking plane flying over.
No, you're good.
Oh, happy days, mate. Happy days. Fucking yeah. Just I do enjoy being a veteran. Like, obviously, I loved serving. It was one of the things that I don't regret leaving. But if I'd stayed a bit longer, I would have probably been a bit happier. Right. But like now, on Facebook and things like that, we've got in our regiment, we've got a thing called Linked Rocks, a bit like LinkedIn, but for all the other fucking regiment guys. And there's more people in that group on Facebook than there is serving on the squadrons now in the regiment. Right. And it's brilliant. Like, and then I think we ended up we found out there's about 7-8 of us down south in Kent. So we've now restarted the RAF Regiment Association for Kent. And it's like, oh, fucking brilliant. So that's restarted. Yeah. It's like, well, we've now got members. It's like, well, we've always been here. We've been here for like 7 years. And it's like, nobody's ever mentioned it. And it's like, when are we meeting up for a pint? You know what I mean?
Again, though, all that stuff, like being an association, you just thought it was all old boys.
Yeah.
That sat and nursed a pint for like 3 hours, you know, saying, you know, like we said earlier, back in my day, you know what I mean? And you're like, yeah.
I used to get it. I used to think exactly like that. Like, so obviously, like I mentioned, my old man he did 22 years, parachute jumping instructor, attached to 2-2. Did their fucking jumps and things like that. Anyway, which is why I'm originally from Hereford, because that's where we moved to. And it was literally just like you were saying, oh, he's a SAS veteran, sat in the pub. You look at him and you go, is he though?
Yeah.
Is he? But yeah, you would see them, remembrance with their fucking jackets on, and you'd be like, fucking hell, they're old. You're like, a veteran has to be an old fucker. World War II style.
That was the image.
Yeah. And
yeah, but it's cool to be a veteran now. You see blokes out there. It's like being an entrepreneur. Yeah. Like when people used to say, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, you don't really do anything then. You just kind of scratch around trying to make money. Now everyone wants to be a fucking entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Look at everyone's Instagram bio, entrepreneur. And it's like, it wasn't cool back in the day, but now it is. Yeah, public figure. So yeah, I think mine says that. Don't say that.
Yeah, but you got blue tick, you're all right.
My blue tick wanker.
You're blue tick wanker. You're allowed to put public figure.
Yeah.
I think gonna have to see some thirsty posts from you with your thirsty posts, your ass hanging out a little bit.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'll lose my tick. Yeah, it's a different world now. Like with being a veteran and everything like that. I've personally seen since I got whacked, the support grow massively. More so within the Royal Marines community, because it's so small.
Yeah.
You know, we're not like the Army or the Navy. You know, I know we're part of the Navy, but those beasts are so big.
Yeah,
they make loads of good changes, but you don't see it so much. Whereas in this small diluted community,
as much as the Marines are the benchmark, as it were, the RAF Reg, I know when, by the way, those that are listening, I know we're not the same as the Marines. This is not my point. But when it comes to that sort of beast that you're talking about there, that you're part of the Navy, but you're not, we're the same with the Air Force, where they fucking hate us because we're fucking idiot infantry, inverted commas. So it's like we get everything like last anyway. It's like, oh, have you seen what the Air Force are doing? Staying in a hotel. What the fuck? It's like, what's a fucking hotel?
No, mate.
My shell scrape didn't look like that, I'm telling you. Oh, it's all right.
No, I hear you, mate.
You did the 5 Mile of Death, you're all right. Shut up.
Yeah, who released that video?
Oh, I've mentioned this before as well. Not on here, on Twitter it was. I think it was Hugh from the H Hour podcast. He sent me a message. He went, "How true is this?" And he was like, someone was talking about the 5 Mile of Death. And I was like, in terms of that course, yes, that's what he said. And I was like, that is not what my course did. My course, we did, I don't even know how long it was. It wasn't a Marine march by any stretch, but it was a lot longer than 5 miles, put it that way. Right. The bit with all the ammo, all the bomb, yes, I've never had my kit so heavy in my life. And then we did do a 24-hour firefight, not what he said at the end, which was like a 2-hour firefight, I think he said. So we did it as was night and day, like literally constantly, and then we were fucked by the end of it. So, and then when you see that video, I think everybody in the RAF Reg hate that video, everyone, because that's what we get now. It's like, oh, you can't do the 5 Mile of Death. So, can.
It's emotional.
It's the fact that he put, now you can stand with the fucking Paras and the Marines and say I am. It's like, I don't think we can, because if you've made that fucking video.
He's famous now. The
funny thing is, though, that guy, he was part of SFSG. He was attached to 3 Para for ages. He actually did a bit, that bloke, but absolute helmet. So, what's the other one we get? So we obviously get 5 Mile of Death. We get You Only Guard the Naffy. That's a good one. Shooting our own body armor. That was a good one. My RAF Reds shoot their own body armor. Apparently, during I hate this as well, the Battle of Bastion. Basically, when the Taliban fucked up and closed their fucking tower down and the Taliban got in, we ended up destroying them and getting them out of there. And apparently, to make us look more wary, a lot of them shot our own body armor to make it look like we were being shot at. I'm pretty sure that never happened, but I can't confirm it because that wasn't my squadron. So it may have happened, but I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Well, I would assume, not that I'm any sort of forensic expert, but
yeah,
if you're using SA-80s at 5.56 and Taliban have got AKs with 7.62, you're going to see the difference.
Yeah, you'd like to think so, but why let the truth get in the way of a good rumor? I love it.
Exactly.
You shoot your own body armor. Shut up, dickhead.
every regiment gets their own thing, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, whether we get a load of shit about. My mate was a sergeant major at 29 Commando, and he's always talking about me eating crayons and stuff like that. I'm just like,
yes. So Marines eat crayons.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, hang about, mate. I finished school. I was educated up to, I think, colonel. Kind of academically, I could have been a colonel. So yeah, I don't eat crayons. You know what I mean? We're not all crayon munchers. You know,
unless they're Crayola, because they're the best. They're the best kind.
Yeah, purple ones.
just purple.
Just purple.
Oh, I do love these fucking little things that pop up. Like, definitely, like the garden and the naffy is brilliant. How would you know? You don't leave the wire. You guard the naffy. It was like, what are you talking about? I remember once I was having I'm known to bite. So if someone says something like that I disagree with, I'll bite. I can't help it.
Right.
And this bloke was going off on one about the RAF Reg, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to have this. It's like, well, you guys don't leave the wire. And I literally put a picture up of me on a patrol in Kandahar, and I went, there you go, not a wire in sight, mate. And he was like, well, you didn't do that often. I went, oh, here's another one. That's a different day. It's like, you're a dick. I think he was a really old school, I'm going to guess artillery or something like that in the army. And it's like, hang on a minute, you probably didn't do anything anyway. What are you talking about? You did sense and warn or something like that.
I tell you what, one of the things that gets me on social media is, so like I think my last post on Instagram, I recorded guys yesterday coming in, 2 troops had just passed their 9-mile speed march, so their second commando test.
Oh yeah.
So I'll put it up, and then you'll always get someone, right, commenting the fact that their drill's not great. And I'm like, all right, so first of all, my mindset is they've just smashed the commando test, right?
Yeah.
So on one hand, I'm like, that's not important. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, no, because even though we're hanging out our ass, we're supposed to hold ourselves to this high standard and, you know, just still concentrate, still operate effectively. And that includes marching in step. But I'm just reading through these comments like, why say anything at all? Why not say congratulations, lads?
Yeah.
You're halfway through to earning your green beret now. You've done 2
nice
tests.
One, fellas.
It's like some old boys like, well, they're not marching in step, and that guy isn't doing this properly. And I'm like, yeah, just say congratulations.
Yeah,
just
be proud of them. It's the thing, isn't it? We were talking about this on the on my inner armor course that I did. How you automatically go to negative when you're talking about stuff. Yeah, and it's just it's human nature, and that's what he was saying. He was like, not that we have to change human nature, we just have to be careful with how we keep going. Like it started off, he went, we're gonna do a little. He went, we've literally just done a little test thing, and you guys didn't even realise. I was like, fuck it, what? So we started off. We were joking about basically my room that I had. So I got given a room. Did the course for that day, came back to my room. Some bloke had moved out of another room, said that he was in my room, and all my shit got taken out and left on the fucking reception. And I was like, hang on, so this is my stuff. And they were like, yeah. And I went, why is that not in the fucking room? Because you don't live in that room. I'm like, I fucking do, dickhead. And then I got moved up into another room anyway. So that came up, and then it was literally negative thing after negative thing that the lads all around the table going, oh, but the fucking food was shit, this was shit. But and so what started off as a joke that was quite lighthearted then turned into this debate of how shit this hotel was. And he was like, see what happened? I went, and now we need to bring that back to the, what do you call it, post-traumatic growth sort of situation, where instead of being on the negative, we're going to continue to focus on the positive bit, which was funny that Tommo got fucking a shit room. Yeah. And it was like, that's how we got to deal with it. We don't just, because how the mood has changed. So it's the same on social media, because everyone's got a fucking platform. Yeah. And they might not like something, like he said, the marching, he was fucking out of step, dickhead. It's like, why can't you just say, well done on passing the fucking speed march? Just like exactly what he said. Pass the speed march, mate. Not many people would be able to fucking do that.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like, most people, I think, if you went out to a restaurant, right, and you went and had your meal, everything was fine, you enjoyed the food, the service was good, you go back and be like, yeah, it was a good night. But you wouldn't automatically go, right, I'm going to jump on their Facebook page and give them a 5-star review or a 4-star review because I thought it was great. But if you go there and it's like your starter was cold, that's fucking shit. What have they sent me? You'll go straight back home and go, this restaurant shit. They were crap. This didn't go up to my. And it's like, why are people so motivated to jump online and do the negative stuff? But if you had a great experience, you're not so, motivated to go on and go, oh, it was actually really good and I had a great time and the staff were great. Unless it's, ridiculously above and over and beyond, people tend to do the positive.
Yeah.
For a novel experience, like people's expectations now were like, yeah, it's crazy.
To be fair, you're 100% right there. So I took the missus out for our anniversary, went to Miller and Carter and had a fucking beautiful steak. It was fucking cooked perfectly. Food was lovely. They even remembered my little, so I put a little, asked any requests. I put, it's my 9th anniversary. Could you put us a strawberry daiquiri on the table and a glass of whiskey for myself? Obviously, standard. Mm-hmm. And so that was there when we arrived. And me not thinking, like, I should have, like, yeah, I gave him a tip and what have you, but I didn't then put on the reviews, oh, they're fucking brilliant. Didn't even think to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if I had a shit meal, I would have gone, I might have to say something. But
yeah,
to be fair, I don't tend to do that either. It's like, I've eaten it. My dad's the worst one for negative when it food. I hate going out for meals with my dad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been for a meal with my dad where he's enjoyed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. He'll always find something that he don't like.
I think I'm the opposite. I'll just eat it, even if it is shit.
Same.
I'll just
eat.
Like,
oh, this will fucking do.
Yeah. I've had a lot worse, so I'm just like, yeah, this is nice. That'll do.
Brilliant, mate. Oh, here's the other thing I was going to say about your prosthetic, especially your arm. So I noticed on your doc you had like the Invictus Games badge and things like that. So when you get it all cast and made, do you choose then what, like, is it a cover or is it just part of the arm itself?
No, I just got a vinyl wrap put on it afterwards.
Ah, makes sense.
Just go to like a vehicle wrapper, get a graphic drawn up, and then I'll just leave the arm with them, and they'll label it all up for me.
Oh, that's
so I can just rip it off if I want.
Oh, so it's like literally you don't need like a million fucking arms in. Oh, I fancy being Spider-Man today.
No, but you can get like airbrush prosthetics. People will airbrush stuff onto your sockets, and but I like the way I can just change it if I want to.
Yeah, that's a yeah. Bit like a phone case. You get bored after a while. You're like, it's fucking
exactly like that, mate. Yeah, but with vinyl.
Yeah. Little things like that. It's like you can't help but ask. Like a lot of people are probably afraid to ask about fucking your prosthetics and things like that. Like it's like, is that going to offend him or? But not that that question would offend you. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't get offended,
mate. The fucking Bluetooth legs though is the best thing I've ever seen. Like when you were put on, I'm going. Those of you who haven't, check out his doc on Amazon. But yeah, it's like when you're pressing the button and his fucking leg starts moving. It's like that's fucking brilliant. But I can see your point where a lot of people probably go, "Oh, he's not walking himself though." And then you were explaining how you are. It's like, of course he is.
100% me.
He's not fucking Terminator.
It takes a double above knee amputee anywhere between 300 and 500% more energy to do anything than any able-bodied person. Yeah. The legs don't push me forward and walk for me.
No,
it's still taking me amounts of energy to do anything. But you know, I've got an app on my phone which connects to my leg via Bluetooth, so I can switch the modes for like gym mode and cycling mode, whatever it is I'm doing.
That's fucking alley that.
But it's all me.
Yeah. Of course it is. It's like why wouldn't it be? You know what I mean? You're not.
I wish they did walk for me and it was easy.
Of course.
That'd be great.
It'd be fucking brilliant.
Great. Yeah. But yeah, not quite yet.
Did you ever think about putting the blade? Can you put the blades on and do the running, or is it?
Yeah.
From what you can? Yeah. Oh, fun. Yeah. Did you ever want to do that during your like Invictus stuff, or was it just you? Nah.
I didn't like running when I had legs, mate.
Not the only one.
No,
I've got legs. I don't like running.
I was never built for it.
Built for tabbing.
Very heavy. Yeah, I could do that for days.
Days.
I could jump for days on end.
Pack horse,
but I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do anything at that speed, and so running. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I've got no interest in it. I just did it whenever I had to do it.
Yeah, the amount of people that go, "Oh, you fancy going out for a run?" Absolutely not.
No, I'd rather poke my eyes out.
I'd rather if we're going to do any sort of running, I'll do like a few sprints with you if you want, because then they're done. So I can go home.
Yeah.
But
I don't even like running the bath.
No,
That's how much I hate running.
Yeah, just get in the shower, mate. Oh, fucking hate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got, they're down there actually underneath the cupboard. I've got a set of running blades. I might dust them off next year for these fundraisers.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got some challenges then. You just said, hate running.
Yeah. But I think if I do something like a 5K, I could probably take my kids with me as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And 5K, I mean, anyone can do 5K. It's not, what is it, 3.5 miles, if that?
Yeah,
not even that far.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
But with running, what I said just now about walking's 300 to 500% more energy. Running,
oh yeah,
600, 700, 800%. It's just horrendous until you get the technique weight off. And then you can use the blades to your advantage. But yeah, it's not something I'm.
Yeah, you have to figure out how to load up and go for a yomp.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'm good.
hey, Tommo, absolutely fuck no. How about
that? I'm getting older, mate. It's not so exciting anymore, that stuff.
Yeah, at least it won't hurt your knees.
No, but I'll smash my lower back.
Oh, here's the other thing, right? Talking about kids and that. So there's a couple of clips of you with your little ones, and you're like carrying them up the stairs, and they're on your shoulders, and you're going up the stairs. Fucking my missus went, she went, that's a bit dangerous. I went, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. And he's probably done that fucking over and over and over again. He knows how to get up the stairs. She was like, I wouldn't trust you going up the stairs. I went, I wouldn't trust me going upstairs. I went, Mark's more able-bodied than me. I fall over nothing.
Now, you can't really see it on the video, but the way my body is positioned, my upper body is leaning forward, so they're not leaning back, and they were briefed to grab the handrails anyway, because it could be unsafe.
Yeah.
When I throw them over my shoulder when they were much smaller, I used to put them on my shoulder, so their belly's there on my shoulder, and just carry on one shoulder, and that was fine. But when they were sat, the leg either side of my head, they'd grab out onto the handrail and support themselves, and I'd lean forward quite a lot.
Yeah.
So they weren't off balance.
But yeah, because I'm known for being pretty fucking clumsy, so I'll literally fall over air, mate. Like I've got the world's weakest ankles anyway, so I'm always rolling my ankles. I'm like, that's why I don't carry the kids up the stairs. We've got steep stairs in our house. Okay. I was like, that's why I don't carry them up, and if I do, I'll do it on all fours just in case.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I went, well, Mark's more able-bodied than me, so don't worry about it.
They can walk themselves up now, they're old enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. So my oldest is we used to call it the Daddy Express when I'd carry him up. Can I go on the Daddy Express? It's like, yeah. The little one, I could do the eldest, but the little end's light as shit. I'm like, yeah. And then the eldest would be waiting downstairs. Like, can I go? It's like, you can walk. You're 9. Get upstairs. Oh, Dad, that's not fair. Kids are brilliant. Fucking brilliant. Oh, tell you what, mate. I think that's a good place to fucking press pause on. I don't even know how long we've been doing this for. Can't even see the timer. You might be.
Hour and a half.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Don't want to be
hang on lunchtime.
Yeah, it is, mate. Wings.
Yeah.
Wings for me. Mate, honestly though, an absolute honour and a privilege to have you on the Ground Zero podcast. It's been fucking brilliant.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
I love it. Love it. Welcome back anytime, mate. Anytime, honest.
Thank you.
It's fucking brilliant. Now all I need to do is get your book, and then I'll be proper fanboyed up, mate. Watch the doc, listen to your podcast, need the book. Go to the premiere of your movie, just saying. Just want to be on the list.
That's it.
No, it's been a privilege, mate. Honest. And I like the fact that the reorg t-shirt that you're wearing is very similar to the Granite Zero logo. I reckon so.
I noticed that. I did notice that.
I reckon someone's nicking my designs. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, mate. Well, you stay safe and have a fucking good day, mate.
You too, Tom. Well, thanks, mate.
No problem, mate. Catch you soon.
See you, mate. Bye.